we actually have a working Infernity deck. We have some Suships, ABC. Oh my gosh, these are the decks that you love to see. Don't beg 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. What in the world is going on here? We have a working Infernity list. I didn't think that there would be a time that I would see Infernity come back out here, but we did just get that creepy little punk actually here. Let you special summon one of your Infernity monsters that is banished or in your hand or in the graveyard, wherever it is, basically. If a face-up Infernity monster controls destroyed by battle, or leaves the field by card effect while it's cards in your graveyard, you can return this back to your field. So, I mean, it is a free once per turn monster reborn for the deck that's not going to punish you for, you know, having cards in your hand, which is kind of nice. So we have one copy of the Archfiend Harris with one Fiendish Warrior Rhino. We have one Infernity Archfiend with the one Conjurer. We have one Infernity General with one copy of Mirage, two copies of Necromancer. We have two copies of Patriarch with one copy of Sage, triple copies of Wildcat, two Stygian Street Patrol with triple Tour Guide. We have one Foolish Burial with two copies of Droplet, one Infernity Launcher with one copy of the Paranoia, one Monster Reborn with your 1/1 for 1, two This Creepy Little Punk, triple copies of Void Apocalypse, because still getting to discard and send a fiend from your deck to the graveyard is literally classic setup for this deck. We have one World Legacy Succession, one Zero Max, triple copies of Infernity Barrier, one Infernity Break, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Then in the extra you still have the one Zelantis, two copies of the Saruja, one Almirage with one Nightmare Unicorn, one Nightmare Phoenix with one Cherubini. We have one Barricade Borg Blocker with one Apollosa, one Access Code Talker with one Dugaris, one Levier, and then we have one Infernity Doom Archfiend, one 100 Eyes Dragon, and one Baron. And then we have one Change of Heart, triple copies of Lightning Storm, two copies of Talents, one Thrust, triple Dimensional Barrier, triple Evenly Matched, and two copies of the Tyrant's Tummy Ache here. Just activate by tripping one monster, and either player can swap some level 6 or higher monsters. And if you have exactly 3 or more cards in your hand, destroy this card. Free real estate. Doesn't matter. We're Infernity. We have nothing in our hand at all points. Ooh. Next up is Suships. So, the generic things that you need to understand about Suship is this card right here, yes. This deck actually gets access to the Fire Barrier statue because it's not going to hurt this deck. Everything in here is fire. Repeat after... Oh, this isn't fire. This isn't fire enough to be fire. But all of these are fire. And yes, you do get access to a cheese OTK in this deck, especially like if you're grinding like a local levelized event. This card right here is going to get you some free chicken nuggies, that's for sure. So, we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We have triple copies of the Ikora, triple copies of the Sherry Red. We have triple copies of the Shiro, triple copies of the Uni, two copies of the Divine Karate. We have triple copies of Lava Golem, triple copies of Haha No Big Field for You, and then we have triple copies of the regular Sherry. And then we have one Change of Heart, one Double or Nothing, triple copies of Painful Decision, triple copies of Small World, triple copies of Unexpected Die, and then triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. Now in the next check you have two copies of Lingaribo. Somebody has a Kashtira player at their locals. We have one Utopia Dragner, one copy of Baguski, two copies of Utopia Double with one base Utopia. We also have one Titanic Galaxy, one Dreadnought, one copy, or two copies of the Iruka class, one Gaia Dragon, one Exciton, and two copies of Zeus. And then side deck here we have the triple copies of the Barrier statue because, man, I can just imagine you're having a casual day playing against a Suship player. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I play a Barrier statue. And you're like, oh no! We have triple copies of Denko Sekka, your triple Dimension Shifter, two copies of Ghost Bell, one Arby's Feather Duster, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Yeah, wrapping up a very interesting take for Suships. I do love to see this. Next up here, hey, look, it's easy as a punk package in my deck. I was going to say it's easy as 1, 2, 3, but you know, you need something, you need a better way to toggle through your options here. And I mean, field spell for field spell, I guess is kind of cool. Your punk package is just facilitating like link climbing / synchro spam for this deck, just so that you know you can get to the numbers that you want to see to make the Ancient Fairy Dragon to turn on Thurion field spell and go. So we have two copies of Assault Core, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Bee Buster Drake, because, I mean, honestly, this is the best one. I'd probably play 3 of this, too. Then we have 2 copies of Sea Crush Wyvern, 1 Cyberstein, triple copies of Destrudo, your 2 copies of Wagon. We have 1 copy of the Ghost Ogre with triple copies of Nibiru. I have 1 copy of Deer Note with 2 copies of Foxy Toon. We have 2 copies of Regulus, 1 Union Driver, 1 Dragon Riving, 1 Dragon Shrine, triple Emergency Teleport, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Set Rotation, your 1 Terraforming, your 2 Disc Coliseum, triple Union Hanger, and 2 copies of Infinite Permanence. Wrapping up your main deck. Down here we have 1 copy of Underworld Goddess, 1 Platinum Gadget, 1 Emerald Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 IP, with your 1 Apollosa, 1 Access Machine, 1 Champion Sargass, 1 Giganix, 1 copy of the Jamming Dragon. We have 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, 1 Exterio, and triple copies of the ABC Dragon Buster. Also have triple copies of the Droll and Lockbird, triple Book of Eclipse, triple Dark Ruler No More, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 copies of Twin Twisters, and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier here. Wrapping up your ABC list. I almost wondered if they wouldn't play a Merrymaker in here, just to try to make this easier, but, I mean, level 8s don't necessarily seem like they're a hard commodity to find for this deck in order to actually hard overlay that, so it's kind of interesting to see that. Next up here, this is Punk Zombies. What world have we gone to in the time capsule machine that we have punks, zombies actually merging together? And wow, I gotta take this in for a second here. You know, you don't tend to see a lot of these particular hybrid decks actually functioning out here, because most people are like, throw it in the trash, there's no real point, you know, it doesn't work because it doesn't fit the, you know, the consistent more narrative here in today's format. And I think that's kind of disappointing, actually, that players aren't really testing out more ideas like this. So that's kind of cool. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of the Spirito, I believe, yeah, the Chingashi. We have 2 copies of Boulder Drock. We have 1 Globe Bloom, 2 copies of Goizuki, with 1 copy of the Mad Mauler. We have triple copies of Mizuki with 2 copies of the Necro Banshee. We have 1 Deer Note with triple copies of Foxy Toon. We have 2 copies of Xiamin with 1 Psychic Tracker. We have 2 copies of Solitaire with triple copies of Unizombie. We have 1 Called by the Grave, triple copies of Emergency Teleport with 1 Foolish Barrel. We have 1 Gold Sarcophagus with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Monster Reborn with 1 Reasoning, triple copies of Super Polymerization. We have 1 Zombie Reborn with triple copies of Zombie World. We have triple copies of Revelry of the Warlords. Then we have 1 Vampire Sucker with 1 copy of the Vampire Fascinator. Don't really see this card come up all that often either. We have 1 Dahark with 1 Blackluster Soldier, 1 Asa with 1 Zombie Vampire, 1 Felgrand with 1 Dragon Lord. We have 1 Omega with 1 Jamming Drive Dragon, 1 copy of Immortal Dragon. And we have 1 Baron, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Garuda, and 1 Draco Nether. Then, of course, you have triple Droll and Lockbird, triple Space Rock, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dark Hole, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping up one of the most interesting zombie variants that I think that I have had the chance to see to date. That is actually really, really cool. And the last we have for you guys here is a Libromancer deck. Wow, aka Warrior Toolbox. I will tell you that a lot of these variations of this deck have been very, very cool. Now, my little pea-sized brain isn't, you know, smart enough to comprehend the intricacies of this deck, but it's going to be a lot of toolbox spamming. You're going to get access to Christia, you know, through Ben 10. As long as you can set things up in the perfect places, everything will fall into place, and you'll be able to set up a fairly strong board with this deck. So, we have 1 copy of Archlord Christia with your 2 Diviner of the Herald, 1 Gale Dagra with 1 copy of Hare. We have 1 Gearfried with 1 Renault, triple copies of Lava Golem with your 1 Libromancer Agent, triple copies of Libromancer Fire, triple copies of Geek Boy, 1 Magician Souls with 1 Ben 10. We have 1 Illusion, 2 Illusion of Chaos, 1 Doom Broker with triple Ohime. We have triple copies of Emergency Teleport, 2 copies of Libromancer First Appearance with 1 Minkanko Fire Dance, 1 Kagura with 1 Water Abereske, triple copies of Preparation Rites, 1 copy of the Ceremony, and then we have 2 Talents, and 1 copy of Libromancer Intervention. Then we have 1 copy of Underworld Goddess, 1 Lingaribo with 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 is sold with 1 copy of IP. We have 1 Dahark with 1 copy of the Swordbreaker, 1 Boral Sword with 1 copy of the good old Apollosa, 1 good old Cheese Machine, 1 Sheridan with 2 Herald, 1 Cupid Pitch, and 1 Borreload Savage. Then you got the triple Ash, triple Ghost Bell, triple Cosmic, triple Dimensional Barrier, And of course, triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up your chunk of goodies for this video. So what do you guys think about some of these lists? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.